Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Randy from LDGeek.com, and continuing with my interview series for the Loudr Game Music Festival, I have Taylor with me, popularly known on YouTube as ViolinTay. Taylor, welcome. How you doing?
Very good, thank you. Excited to be talking with you.
Thanks, I really appreciate that. And I actually just got done watching your video of the Song of Storms that you did, the cover of that.
Oh, and how'd you like it?
Oh, it's awesome. It's really badass. And I gotta ask you this because I get thumbs down on my videos, you know, and it happens because I'm a critic and I don't always have the opinion that other people have, and, you know, I'm expecting thumbs down, and, you know, but how do people objectively watch your stuff and thumb it down at all? Like, when there's like, it'll be like 3,000 thumbs up and then like 20 thumbs down. Like, what are those 20 people possibly thinking, you know?
I don't know, I mean, everyone gets them, and I just, I do actually kind of feel bad for people that do that kind of stuff just because it's like, really, you don't have anything better to do. But
well, I mean, it's not only that, but it's like, what were you really expecting when you like typed in Zelda violin cover? You know, like the production value is like through the roof. Obviously, the music is top notch. I mean, what were they expecting? They were probably like, oh. I didn't like the way the violin looked, or her costume wasn't authentic, or something along those lines.
I just definitely focus on the people who are being nice and supportive and everything, because you can't worry about that, smaller group of people.
Yeah. Well, honestly, welcome, and honestly, you've got to be almost. How are you taking all of this in? I mean, you've kind of blown up. I don't want to say like overnight, but I'm sure that the success of your YouTube channel and your music probably picked up a lot faster than you were ever expecting.
I don't know. I don't know how to take it. I'm very grateful because I've had a lot of people who have been supporting me for a while now, because I've had my channel for over 3.5 years. I've been posting. So
me too, but that feels like overnight to me.
Okay. Well, I guess, because I was working a different job at first, and then it was kind of like a slower transition over into that. And so, definitely. I mean, it's like a dream come true being able to do what I actually love for a living. So I feel very grateful for all of that. And but yeah, it's amazing what you can do nowadays with the technology and the internet, and connect with people all over the world, and share these passions with other people. So it's really incredible.
Oh yeah, you've been even traveling as well doing this, right? I mean, you did
Yeah.
E3. Was that this year or last year?
That was last year, and then I just recently played at BlizzCon with this video game rock band that I'm a part of.
That's awesome. So, what's the band's name?
It's called Critical Hit.
Nice.
If you get the play on words there.
I do.
Yes, of course. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun doing that, because that's made up of a lot of really serious industry musicians and stuff, like Jason Hayes, who's a big composer at Blizzard and Warcraft, all that kind of stuff. He's like band leader, and then we've got like a lot of other really accomplished musicians in there who have recorded on all these different soundtracks and stuff. So it's really cool to be a part of, and everyone's really, really nice too. So it's really fun.
That's awesome. Are you guys gonna be playing anywhere else like relatively soon?
Nothing lined up at the moment, but we do have a couple of other YouTube videos that we haven't released, because we just started releasing videos on the Critical Hit YouTube channel.
Nice.
And we have a couple more videos. We plan to do more in the future, and then just whatever shows come up that we're able to be a part of, hoping maybe to do stuff like PAX and things like that, but we'll see what happens.
That is really cool. Are you guys thinking about playing at MagFest this year or anything?
I don't think we don't have anything planned for that, but since it is so new and everyone has their own job still, because Jason, he's still composing every day for Blizzard and stuff, and all the rest of us still have our own music things going on. So it's basically like a fun side project for all of us, and we're just pretty excited to do it on the side and see what happens with it.
Yeah, that's really amazing. So, tell me, like, why violin? Did you grow up in a musical house?
My mom played a little bit of piano when she was growing up, but nothing serious. She was actually a flight attendant for her career, and my dad never has touched an instrument. So I saw a girl when I was in elementary school play Silent Night at a school assembly, and for whatever reason I was just really entranced by that, and I went home that night and asked my parents if I could take violin lessons, and they generously said yes. And so I just started in first grade, and it was on and off all the way up until college with lessons, and I don't take lessons anymore, but I started taking the violin more seriously than ever after I graduated college, actually just on my own. So
yeah, that's pretty impressive, because most of the time when people are doing, like, when kids are playing an instrument, it's normally like the parents are like, "You're gonna play the violin and you're gonna love it."
No, yeah, my parents, they were just really supportive of what I wanted to do, and I wanted to quit a couple of different times because it's a pretty rough instrument, especially in the beginning, and my mom was always very, very supportive about me just sticking with it a little bit longer, and so I'm always thanking her now that she stuck it out with me and
That's great.
drove me to all those lessons and stuff. So
were you in band or anything in high school with it?
Yep, I did an orchestra all 4 years. And
Wow.
was
Orchestra, not just band,
nerdy.
but orchestra.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really cool, if you know what I mean.
Well, hey, I mean, clearly I was really cool too at Elder Geek. Come on.
No, I'm totally comfortable with that because I've always... Well, and I feel like now it's actually becoming kind of trendy for people to... It's like nerd chic almost.
It is, and you know what? The nerd chic wave is on its way back down, but I'm enjoying the ride for the time being. You know,
whatever. I mean, it's definitely all that stuff like gaming and music. It's all a part of my life, so I'm not ashamed.
No, and there really isn't any reason why you should be. I mean, you're an adult now. It's not like you have to worry about this, you know, the petty things that happen behind closed doors of high school. Now it's like you're an adult. You do what you want, and if people don't enjoy what you do, then you're like, whatever, I don't have to talk to you anymore, you know?
Yeah, no more lunch trays over my head.
Right, there's no more lunch trays, there's no more petty rumors. You literally only interact with the people that you know, want to, or in the case of work, need to, and even then it's like you stop talking to them at 5 o'clock and it's done anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Being all grown up's pretty nice.
Being all grown up is kind of cool, not gonna lie. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you actually did violin while growing up, and your parents didn't force you into it. Do you play anything else, like, while you were doing it? Were you like, you know what, I'm gonna take an instrument that's really closely related to the violin, and I'm gonna like play the drums or something like that?
No, violin was definitely enough, and I did a lot within school. Besides being in school orchestra, I actually on the weekends I did youth symphonies, and so that was affiliated with. So I'm from the Michigan area, so I would do like the Detroit Symphony Youth Orchestras and things like that. So I was always doing a lot of different music stuff, and actually I was really into sports too, but I had to choose at one point, you know, what direction I was going to go with that. So I chose music, and I couldn't do any sports teams or anything in high school either, just because the music stuff was really taking over everything.
Yeah.
But it was good. I'm glad that that's what I chose, because I'm very happy right now with what I'm doing. But I do play a little bit of piano, but it's only self-taught, and definitely nothing professional level at all. But just, you know, to mess around.
Since you started doing your YouTube channel, do you think that you've improved in your skill at all?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you do?
Definitely. That was something that when I started, I was... not taking as seriously, and then once I got going with it a little bit and started to see what kind of opportunities might come from it, I started practicing a lot, because I wanted to start to feel like worthy of the opportunities that might have come my way, and also just, you know, do the best that I could do with where I was at and all that kind of stuff. So I do practice a lot now still.
Good. How did it kind of happen for you? Like it happens a little bit differently for everybody who is like a YouTuber. Were you like dedicated right from the start that you knew this was something you wanted to do, and you wanted to kind of continually grow your image on YouTube, or was it a little bit more natural for you? Were you like, I'm gonna play a couple of songs and I'm gonna throw them up and see how they go, and then a couple of them just happened to explode, and then you were like, wow, this is something I could really do? Like, which way was it for you, or was it kind of a combination of both? It
was just really random, because I'm actually at least I was before I started and everything, just a very private person. Never would have thought that I would have been posting public YouTube videos or anything like that.
Right.
The reason I started was I graduated from college, and I actually tried to get a job in the music industry out in Los Angeles. And some stuff fell through with that for a number of different reasons, one of which actually my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, could not find a job out there after graduating from college, and so we decided to stay in Michigan. So I was like, what can I do with music from here? This is kind of, and I since I'm so into video games and the music and everything, I looked online on YouTube actually just randomly one day, and I saw some people posting video game music and people were actually watching it, and I was like, I didn't know that this many people were interested in this type of music too, because I was always making like mixed CDs of my favorite video game tunes when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But I just hadn't, thought to kind of take like a more community approach to it. And so I just decided, what the heck, I'll just post a few videos of myself doing this and we'll see what happens. And then it started gaining, gradually an audience for it. And after I'd posted for a couple of years, then it got to the point where I was like, I'm going to quit my job and just see what happens, make a CD and see how that goes, see if enough people will support me. And thankfully they have, and I've just kept doing that and it's been working out. So I'm very grateful.
That's amazing. Yeah, that is really, really cool. And congratulations. You actually just you just released another one recently?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, this is a full-length Zelda album.
Right, and that's coming out. Wait, is it out yet or is it coming out in like December?
No, it's out now.
Okay, it's out now.
The physical CD is not out yet because those take a little bit longer to manufacture.
That's what it was. It was the physical ones that haven't hit the streets yet. Gotcha. How long did it take you to do the entire album?
Okay, so this was fast. I worked, so for my first album, I worked completely by myself. I did all of the orchestrations, like everything on the computer myself, all the recording, just from my house. And then my second album with Laura DeWitt, I don't know if you've seen any of her stuff, but she plays piano and violin a little bit on YouTube. She's awesome. We did a CD together and we just produced that all of ourselves. And I also did a Christmas one. And then the last two that I've done, I've worked with this awesome producer, composer, arranger. His name is Adam Gubman, and he's done a lot of different stuff just on his own and also just for other like smaller games and things like that. I actually got connected with him through Critical Hit because he did all of the arrangements for the Critical Hit stuff, which is really cool. And so we worked together on a movie theme album. And that took us a couple of months, and he's just so fun to work with, so nice, so awesome. So I told him about this Zelda thing because at the time I thought I might do my own album and just make it all myself again and just do a mini album. Right. And then actually when I was on this trip doing the Song of Time and Song of Storms video with the director Landon. Right. We were on a 4-hour car ride both ways to get to those ruins that were in the Song of Time.
Yeah, I was going to ask about those ruins, like where they were and like how... Anyway, let's continue with your story. We'll backtrack.
So he suggested, he was like, well, don't do a mini album. He's like, there's so many Zelda songs. And we all started talking about our favorite Zelda songs. And pretty soon I was up to like 20 tracks. And I was like, oh my gosh, we need to cut this down. So I thought 16 would be an appropriate amount. And as soon as we had kind of thought about it a little bit, I contacted Adam and asked him if he would be interested in working on this one with me. And he was, because he's super nerdy and into this kind of stuff too. So he and I did the entire thing probably in less than 3 weeks.
Wow, but that's still a good amount of time. Like, that's not like, oh, I decided one weekend to just bang these out and then here's my album.
No, but it was between BlizzCon and things like that too, because he came out for that and I was out in LA for that. So it was, very fast, relatively speaking. So, but it was great. Obviously, I would not have been able to do that without him as a partner. So really, really happy with how it all turned out too. This is my favorite album. I just had so much fun doing it, and I love all the songs and everything. Brings back so many good memories.
That's outstanding. All right, let's go back to the ruins. Where are the ruins, and who was like, yeah, we got to go shoot there?
So Landon, he's the one who filmed and edited. He lives in Atlanta, and so I flew down to Atlanta, and we just used his friend's backyard for the Song of Storms. But he had looked up places that were within driving distance to him, and it was like 4 hours each way. It's in, I think, is it Beaufort or Beaufort? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's in South Carolina.
Which either pronunciation I pick, I guarantee you I'll be the wrong one.
Yeah, so I mean, we just drove down there just very quickly to do that. We drove down in the morning and came back at night and just filmed for a couple of hours while we were there. So
cool. And
Yeah.
it turned out awesome. I was asking before the interview, but it might actually be interesting to talk about here. I said, did you rent a rain machine for that?
Yeah.
Because the rain actually looks really good in that.
No, this was some serious budget filmmaking. 'Cause Landon is actually, he's very successful with commercials, so
Okay.
he's doing very well. He actually just won a PlayStation 4 commercial for the video game Knack. And so
Oh, wow.
he's extremely talented. He does really well. And so this is kind of like a passion project. So he's very nice because he lets me do a low budget with him. And
That's great.
he'll make it look really good. So what we did for the rain is we literally just took hoses from his friend's house and we bought like shower head type things from Home Depot and put them on there and then just sprayed me for an hour.
It looks pretty awesome, though. I'm sure you were, even
Yeah,
though you were in Atlanta, I'm sure you were still probably cold by the end of it.
It was a little chilly, but it worked out.
Especially because off the hose, you know? I mean, come on. It wasn't like
it
you were
was
running...
cold water for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it wasn't like you were coming out of like the kitchen sink with the warm water tapped into it or anything.
No, it was a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm glad that you did it. It was worth it.
Which violin were you using in that shot? Was that like really fancy?
No. So again, the violin, we actually borrowed that as well. From Liquid Violins is the name of the company. And so he very generously just let us borrow it for the video. And we only used it in a safe, dry area.
Okay, all right.
And then...
Because that violin just looks expensive. That's like, wow,
Yeah.
that's a mortgage payment right
No,
there.
that's why it was borrowed because, like I said, budget. I don't want to buy another one, even though it is a gorgeous instrument, maybe someday. But we bought a violin on Craigslist for very cheap that like barely worked to begin with. And so that's what we used for the rain part. And it actually held up. I was surprised that it didn't come unglued or anything. I just kept dumping water out of it. I would just pour it. It was really funny. And I mean, it worked out. It held up, so it was good.
Yeah, it was a really cool effect. Hey, for a budget video, that is a really great video.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy with how it turned out. Like I said, Landon did some really hard work on there and did an awesome job with it, so I'm very pleased.
That's really cool. So where do you kind of go from here? You know, like, what are your plans? Do you have? I mean, if you can talk about any of this, do you have ambitions to write at all for for any games or commercials or movies or anything like that, or is pretty much or is it future uncertain, ask again later? Is that kind of circumstance?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a clearer idea of the types of things I'd like to go after now, just because if you would have asked me, even a year ago where I would have seen myself, it definitely would not have been here. So It's so hard to predict. But now that I've tried a few different things out, I definitely want to keep doing albums. I definitely want to keep doing videos too. But one thing that I would really like to get more involved with would be recording on soundtracks for video games, films, things like that. So not necessarily writing, but like being the violinist on, a game soundtrack or something like that. That would be really, really cool to be a part of something like that. So I have had one opportunity so far to do that. And I think I can probably share it at this point because I was going to do like a teaser announcement for it anyway, like this next week. But it's for
This might not actually go up until after next week. Oh, I mean, this is going to go up like we're recording right now, and today is what, Tuesday, I think? I don't even have my days straight anymore.
Yeah.
Today's Tuesday. This is probably not going to go live until Saturday.
Oh, okay.
During
Then,
the Loudr Music Festival. So
I think at this point it's for a game called The Banner Saga and Austin Wintory.
get out of here! Are you serious?
Yeah, so I'm doing violin solos on that, and I already recorded a bunch of them back in the summer, and I have a few more to do still to finish up, but I was so excited to be included in that because I have so much respect for Austin Wintory, and I did that Journey Medley on YouTube, and that's how he actually got connected with me because we had talked a little bit before I did the video, and then once I did the video, we talked a lot after that, and so he was nice enough to include me on this soundtrack, and I'm so excited to be a part of it because this is definitely something that I'd like to get more into.
That is absolutely fantastic. Like, honestly, the banners, I was not expecting you to tell me that. That is really cool. That's one of the few games that I've actually, kicked money towards on the Kickstarter.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, when I saw the trailers for that, I was like, oh yeah.
It looks amazing. So like I said, I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. So
wow.
Yeah.
Who like here? I'll ask you some very serious questions now. Who would you want to work with? Like, who in the industry have you not met, but you're like, yeah, I want to work with that person?
Oh man, that's difficult. I mean, the reason that I got into video games is so cute. If mine was here, he would be doing the same thing.
Yeah, and here, this is what she does. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. that is amazing. I love dogs. I love dogs so much. Nobuo Uematsu is definitely one of my all-time, if not my all-time favorite composer. So, I mean, obviously, doing something with him would be a dream come true. But there's just so many people in the industry that I respect. And, I mean, everyone who's doing this kind of stuff and putting out good content and everything. I mean, like I said, just to be a part of any of it really would be exciting for me.
Cool. All right, here's a very, very serious question, right?
Okay.
We're going to go from casual conversation to very serious question now.
All right.
What do you see as like a problem within the industry right now that could be better from like what you've been seeing like with the, how music is handled within video games and even I guess just video game covers, like what's the biggest unknown issue, I guess?
Unknown issue?
Or even known, I suppose. Like I'm just saying because you're behind the curtains. There's a lot of stuff that you're privy to that most people wouldn't know. And at the same time, I don't want you to get in trouble. So
No. I mean, really, I'm like I said, like I just do a lot of this, pretty much most of this stuff outside of my home. I don't have any management or anything either, so I just pretty much do things and then hope that I'm not going to get in trouble over it. But I mean, obviously, like, I license everything that I sell. Like, I try to do everything really by the book. But I think it would actually be really cool if some of the bigger companies actually reached out more to people like me who were not like, you know what I'm saying, but just people who are creating things for YouTube or just in tribute, because we're not getting paid by any of these companies to do these things.
Right.
And it's great for both of us because it kind of fulfills a passion on our end. And also when we license things, we can sell our singles or our albums, things like that. But it could be a really nice, mutually beneficial relationship type of a thing. I see like a lot of potential on the business side of things for either marketing or, just a lot of different opportunities that haven't ever come up because it's so hard to get in touch with anyone inside of those companies.
Oh,
and
believe me, I know.
Yeah, a lot of times it's almost secretive to a fault, and I totally understand wanting to protect your property and everything, especially with all the pirating out there. I mean, it really affects musicians especially, but I think also there's something to be said for just kind of sharing a little bit more and just like letting things naturally play out a little bit more and letting more people be involved. Like it's as long as it's doing more good than bad type of a thing. But
Right. Oh, no, you're absolutely right. There is totally a mutually beneficial relationship kind of going on there. It's not like I'm going to go and watch one of your videos and I'm going to like listen to your cover of, like a Skyrim, song or something like that. I'm not going to listen to that and then be like, I'd never want to play Skyrim ever again. The instant reaction is going to be like, I love that game. I love that song. Yeah. This is really cool. I think I'm either going to go replay it, or if it's somebody who's never heard of it before, they're going to be like, this is a really great song. I wonder what the rest of the soundtrack sounds like. I should probably go check out the game. So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're sitting there going like,
I know, and believe me too. Like the other thing that would be nice is being able to license some more of the videos because honestly, like I'll just share this, but even somebody with views in the millions each month, like mine's averaging maybe around 2 million new views on all my videos a month.
Yeah.
And the ad money that I make, people probably look at my views and think it's like off the charts. It's usually like $400 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't. So, I mean, that doesn't even pay for like a fraction of one of those videos when I factor in traveling to a location and, everything else that goes into it. So that's something that would be nice too, like a little bit just to put into the cost of making them, because then people could do it more often too. And like you said, it really makes people want to either play the games or check out more about it and get involved with the actual soundtracks too. So I mean, maybe in the future there will be a little bit more involvement on the company's ends, but
yeah. I think it is kind of funny. Like I have like 24 or 25,000 subs right now. Nothing teeny tiny. I'm very proud of the following that we have, but like, there are still followers that'll be like, why isn't this out yet? Why isn't this out yet? They're like, don't you do this for a living? No, I mean, come on, this is like $20 a month or something crazy.
Yeah, you know? I know. It's definitely not like a money-making machine like people would think.
Right. Well, maybe we could just yell at Google a little bit about that and stop being so stingy with that ad money.
Yeah, that is true. It's very interesting.
Is there anything else you want to kind of you want people to know but have never been asked? Like, that's always kind of an interesting thing. Like, whenever you're at a con, you always hear like the same questions asked. Is there anything like you ever want like people to know about you and your videos that most people don't know?
I don't know. I mean, I've said this before, but I don't know if people do realize that I actually am very into gaming and play most all of the games that I think
it's pretty apparent that you're into gaming.
But there are like a lot of people who do it who just have an appreciation for the music and don't necessarily ever play the games, but it's something that's a huge part of my life, both musically and also just as a fun activity. So
what are you playing now?
I just finished The Last of Us.
Did you?
Yes.
What did you think?
I loved it, and I loved the ending, despite what, I know it was very polarizing, because I read a lot about it, because after I finished, I was like, okay, I have to go read what everyone's saying. But yeah, I really liked it a lot.
What's on your next to playlist?
Next to playlist, I don't know right now. I haven't looked super far in advance. I was playing League of Legends fairly regularly. I'm
terrible at League of Legends.
It's a really hard game to get into. I actually started playing 2 years ago when it was in beta still. So I have put a fair amount of time into it. Yeah. So I definitely know how to play and everything. But lately, just because I've been traveling so much and everything, I did The Last of Us in one weekend just because that was like my first free weekend in a while, and my husband was watching football, so I was like, okay, I'm going to play a game while you're doing that.
Does he also play games?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he does?
That's like our first date, if you could call it that, because we actually started dating when we were 14.
Oh, wow.
And we got into an argument in English class about who was better at Super Smash Brothers, and that was 64. And he was like, whatever, girls can't be good at games. And so he had one of his guy friends come over to my house, and I had one of my girlfriends come over to my house who was good at gaming too. And we just destroyed them, like 20 games in a row.
That's awesome.
Emasculated. I know, and when he left, I was like, maybe that was too much, because we even beat them both playing as Jigglypuff, which was really just awful. We barely won that one. I mean, he's good at games too, but I was just really...
And when he was crying, we were like, pick up the controllers again. We're doing this.
They were the ones who wanted to keep going because they were convinced they could beat us at some point. But now he can beat me. Now he can beat me like half the time because he practiced so much after that because he said he'd never been so embarrassed. Yeah.
Why is he embarrassed? He met the woman who would end up being his wife. He should be happy about this.
I know. He said he was very torn because at the moment he was like, okay, that was the coolest thing ever, but also the most depressing thing.
That's awesome.
I know. We've played so many games together. It's ridiculous. Like, that's definitely something that we've always done together too.
That's really cool. Do you oh shoot. I totally had a follow-up question to all of that, but it's all gone now.
It's gone now.
It's gone now. Yeah, it's gone. When you're traveling, do you have a portable gaming device that you take with you, like a 3DS or anything like that?
I just got a PSP fairly recently, and was that me?
No, that was me. That was like my phone gives off little animus sounds when I get texts. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I said something extremely loud. I woke up at 5 this morning, so I'm not completely here right now. But yeah, no, I got a PSP that, I mean, it's not I hacked it so I could, put emulators on it. But so I put like some old school games. I own the games though.
Obviously.
I do. Well, because Chrono Trigger, of course, you have to travel with Chrono Trigger.
Of course.
And then Lion King for Sega. That game is hard. Oh my god.
Lion King on the SNES was way better than the Sega version. But then now we're gonna end up getting into which version was better, blast processing or not.
All right, I didn't play it on the SNES. I only played it on Sega, so okay. I missed out apparently.
No. I missed out on the entire Sega Genesis library. It wasn't something I discovered until like my 20s or something. Because when you're a kid, it was like you had that choice of that one console, and back then,
yeah,
it was rare to have games that were on both. Like I think like Mortal Kombat was really like the only game that appeared equally on both systems or whatever. But
yeah, true. That was a good game.
Yeah. Did you ever dip your toe into game reviewing at all, like musical game reviews?
No, I have not.
Oh, well, there's your next channel idea for you right there. Playing the violin and then stopping and then like you could like review a game in Limerick or something along those lines.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I have pretty strong opinions about how I feel about something, but I guess being like a person who kind of like puts themselves out there and like creates things too, like I'm a little bit more sensitive maybe to sharing opinions so publicly, I guess, because yeah, I know how hard it is to, have people saying stuff about your hard work and everything. And so I don't know. I mean, and I definitely have grown in my appreciation for all different types of music and all different types of just all creative stuff since starting on my YouTube things, because it's so different when you actually are the creator and putting yourself out there and everything. And it's something that even if it's not something that I'm necessarily into, I can appreciate the hard work that people put into their content and, be respectful of that. So.
No, I totally understand it. It's something like, as a critic, I play games and I'm like, you really do have to balance that fine line. You have to be truthful to your viewers.
Of course.
But at the same time, you can't just, there's a point of like calling faults and bringing a point to up to the creators of the content to like find these faults. I've actually gotten letters from like companies being like, "Hey, we loved your review." Even if it be a review that I've like pointed out a lot of problems, they'll be like, "We loved your review, and we're gonna try to make some changes." That's really cool. But then there's the other hand where there's people that are just like nitpicking and just calling out really minor stuff, and it's like, gotta pick your battles,
Of course, it all depends on the delivery too. I feel like if people are respectful and well-intended when they do stuff, as opposed to mean-spirited and just trying to tear people down, then it's way easier to handle.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about music a little bit, and then we'll close out here.
Okay.
Tell me about the albums that you've actually done. You did the Zelda album, which was just recent. You did the movie cover album.
Yep.
Which, by the way, did you have Last of the Mohicans on that movie cover album?
No, I just released that one as a single.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that one's released as a single. Have you seen the video?
No, but now I'm going to go look for it.
Oh my gosh, you have to, because it's funny. My dad actually filmed that for me.
Did he really?
Yes, and he is so proud of it. It's really cute. He's but honestly, like, I squeezed every bit of usable footage I could out of that, because he'd like make an awesome pan and then he'd lose it completely like at the end of the shot. So I did some serious editing on that one. But it's really nice because we were actually out visiting with some family, and we were in Wyoming, and so it's in the Grand Teton National Park, so it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So it was, hard to not do something out there, and that was something that I had requested for a long time by a lot of my followers, so I decided to do that one.
Okay, so seriously, I am gonna watch this. Like right after I'm hanging up on you, I'm gonna be like,
all right.
What other albums have you put out? It was Zelda, the movie cover album.
Yeah. And then going backwards, it's called Game On 2-player mode, and that was the one with my friend Laura DeWitt. She plays piano, so this was mostly just violin piano. And then I did a Christmas album, and then my very first one was called Gaming Fantasy, and that's...
that was the one you did all by yourself?
Yep, and that's also like the fully orchestrated and all that kind of thing. And that has a couple of anime tracks on it. So does my one with Laura, but it's mostly gaming music.
Do you watch a lot of anime?
Not a lot, but I have watched a fair amount. Like I don't know, Dragon Ball Z back in the day.
Yeah.
I know that's not like super hardcore. Like that's a different type, I feel like, than
I think anime's changed quite a bit since like the
Exactly.
90s and early 2000s. Like I used to really love like Akira and like Vampire Hunter D and Dragon Ball Z and stuff, but like lately I can't quite get into anything.
Yeah, I really liked Escaflowne. That was probably my favorite series that I've watched. And then more recently I watched Death Note. So I've seen a fair amount, but I wouldn't say that I'm nearly as into anime as I am with the gaming. So I'm not as well versed because I know a lot of my friends who are really into it have seen a lot. So I definitely can't claim on that, but I do like it when I have the time to watch.
Cool. Where everybody can find all these albums on iTunes, Loudr, off your website, I'm assuming?
Yep. And just as a side note, Loudr is very awesome. They're generous with artists in terms of the share that you get back because iTunes and Google and Amazon all take 30% off the top, plus paying a licensing fee on top of that. So if people are concerned about that, I always just say if people are legally downloading my music, I'm just very grateful for that because that's so nice of them. I would never be upset as to where people are downloading it legally. But if people don't have, a site preference, then Loudr and my personal website are a lot better in terms of the percentage share for independent musicians.
Cool. That's great to hear.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, let's wrap this up. Do you have any final words you want to toss out there?
Just like really, as always, a huge thank you to all of my supporters and everything, just because, like I said, I never thought that this is what I would actually be doing for a full-time career, and it's really just been a combination of a lot of different things, and mostly the support from people on YouTube and just people who have been supporting me with my music and purchasing all that kind of stuff. So it's made a huge difference in my life, obviously, and what I've been able to accomplish, and I definitely see that as a team effort. I know it's hard work on everyone who does anything for a career, but this especially, it's something that I definitely tribute to all the people out there who have helped me get to this point, and everyone I work with now too. So I'm just really grateful that I have people out there supporting me for all this kind of stuff.
Very cool. Well, honestly, thanks for hopping on. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me, especially now that there's holiday traveling and everything going on.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. This is really fun. I really appreciate being a part of this.
Great. Talk to you soon. Everybody else, have a good night.
All right. Bye, guys.